People don't talk about it at the dinner table, it's not discussed with friends at a bar, and certainly not on dates. It is an absolute taboo. But the paradox is that for millions of people, teenagers, adult men, and increasingly women, it has become a daily routine, something we do alone, behind locked doors. But while we stay silent, this habit turns us into obedient zombies. It silently destroys our perception of pleasure, kills self-love, and breaks real sexuality. We are talking about pornography addiction. Hi, today we're discussing an adult and very serious topic. Most guys who watch adult content won't even admit to themselves that they're addicted. They consider it a healthy male desire or just a way to relax. But ask yourself an honest question. If it's just entertainment, why do you often feel empty afterwards rather than strong? Why do you need weirder and more extreme content every year just to feel something? This is not a moral issue, it's a matter of biology. And today we'll look at exactly how you are hacking your own brain. Let's start with the basics. Why does it even work? The fact is, we live in a world of iPhones and neural networks, but our brains haven't been updated in 50,000 years. There is still an ancient primate inside our skull, whose main goal is to survive and pass on its genes. In the wild, to find a partner, a man had to accomplish a feat, survive, hunt, defeat competitors, prove his status. It was hard work with huge risks. The reward for this work was dopamine and procreation. But what happens today? You just take your phone out of your pocket. You go to a website and get access to more partners than all your ancestors combined saw in 1,000 years. It's a jackpot for your ancient brain. It doesn't realize these are just pixels. It doesn't see the difference between a real woman and a 4K image. Your limbic system screams, "You are the most successful male in history. There are hundreds of females. Multiply." And it floods you with a cocktail of neurotransmitters. You get the reward without the effort. The evolutionary program has been hacked. And here we fall into the main trap. It's called dopamine. Many people think dopamine is the pleasure hormone. That's a mistake. Dopamine is the hormone of seeking, the molecule of motivation and anticipation. Remember the experiment with the rat that had an electrode implanted in its pleasure center? They gave it a button. The rat pressed that button 7,000 times an hour. It refused food, water, and sleep. It pressed the lever until it died of exhaustion. Pornography is your button, and you are the rat in the internet's cage. When you endlessly scroll through previews, open 10 tabs, and search for the perfect video, your dopamine is firing. The search process excites the brain more than the ending. But why is it never enough? Why do regular videos stop hitting the spot over time? This is the so-called Coolidge effect. It's a biological mechanism that pushes males to seek genetic diversity. In nature, if a male has access to a new female, his dopamine spikes again, even if he is tired. The internet exploits this mechanism 100%. The industry gives you endless novelty, an endless conveyor belt of bodies. Because of this, you develop tolerance. Just like a drug addict needs a larger dose, a porn addict needs more extreme genres. What was shocking a year ago seems boring today. You start watching things that you might even find repulsive in real life. This is how unhealthy fetishes are formed that have nothing to do with your real sexuality. Where does this lead? Your reward system breaks down. Imagine a set of scales. On one side is the vibrant, hyper-stimulating world of porn. Perfect bodies, lighting, angles, and no rejection. On the other side is real life. Studies, work, problems, ordinary girls who can say no. The real world just can't compete with this dopamine overdose. Life turns gray. You lose the drive to do anything. Why bother meeting people, building a career, or building your body if your brain has already received its main biological reward? You're just draining your energy into the void. And the worst consequence for men is porn-induced erectile dysfunction. This is the epidemic of the 21st century. Guys in their 20s, physically healthy, can't perform with a real girl. Why? Because their brains are wired for the hand and the screen. A real person, imperfect, alive, requiring connection is simply not a strong enough trigger. The brain asks, Where are my 40 tabs and 4K resolution? Sounds scary, right? But there is good news. Our brain is plastic. It knows how to recover. Neural pathways can be rebuilt, but this requires a reboot. If you feel like you've fallen into this trap, here's your action plan. First, remove the triggers. Willpower is a finite resource. Don't rely on it alone. Install content blockers. Unsubscribe from social media accounts that provoke you. Stop taking your phone into the bathroom. That's a high-risk zone. Create an environment where it's difficult to fail. Second, the principle of substitution. Addiction creates a vacuum. If you just remove porn but leave the boredom and loneliness, you will break. You need to teach your brain to get dopamine from healthy sources. When your hand reaches for the phone, drop down and do 20 push-ups. Take an ice shower. Go for a run. Read difficult books. Make your brain work for its dopamine. Don't get it for free. Third, be prepared for withdrawal. The first weeks will be the hardest. Your brain will beg for its button. You may feel irritated, have mood swings, or insomnia. It is okay. It means the healing process is underway. Don't beat yourself up if you slip up. Addiction isn't cured in a day. Did you fall? Get up and restart the counter. The main thing is not to give up. Friends, pornography is not a harmless hobby. It is a predator that feeds on your time, your motivation, and your masculinity. If you don't win this battle against your own instincts, you risk living your life as a spectator rather than the main character. Challenge yourself. At least 7 days without content. Just watch how your energy, your worldview, and your confidence change. You will be surprised at the power hidden in your body when you stop wasting it. Take care of your brain. You only have one.